Hello everyone, lama sekali aku tidak update video di YouTube ini ya. I'm really sorry because it's quite, like we are dealing with a very heavy load of request. Jadi kelas-kelas kami udah penuh sampai Februari 2023. So hopefully aku bisa ketemu beberapa dari kalian tahun depan ya setelah batch ini selesai di Februari. And today seperti biasa aku lebih banyak berbicara tentang writing. That's because that's my specialty in IELTS. Dan kali ini aku mau ajak kalian untuk lihat sampel tulisan, 2 sampel tulisan, dan aku pengen kalian menganalisis sampel tulisan mana sih yang menunjukkan standar yang sesuai dengan the rule of the game of academic IELTS. So, this sample sebenarnya berasal dari salah satu tulisan dari of my former client, dari klien lamaku. And let's have a look at this. I'll give you some time to read this, tapi sebelumnya mari kita perhatikan soalnya. People today often use the internet to learn about the culture of other countries. Orang-orang zaman sekarang itu sering pakai internet untuk belajar tentang budaya-budaya negara lainnya. This means that this is not that important to travel to those country. Artinya udah nggak sepenting itu lagi untuk berpergian ke negara-negara tersebut. Discuss both sides of the arguments and give your own opinion. Nah, kenapa aku kasih warna kuning? Karena itu adalah bagian yang menandakan tipe essay yang harus kita tulis, oke? So, ada sebuah miskonsepsi bahwa semua jenis soal essay task 2 itu meminta kita untuk memberikan pendapat, memasukkan opini, atau memberikan solusi. Padahal itu adalah konsep yang salah ya, sama sekali. Karena enggak semua tipe soal writing task 2 itu butuh kita berpendapat. Itu tuh kayak kalian punya teman dan dia curhat, dia nggak minta advice kamu, but you give some unsolicited advice tanpa diminta. It's a very rude thing to do. So it's the same thing kalau di IELTS essay-nya nggak minta kalian berpendapat, jangan memberi pendapat. Tapi kebetulan memang hari ini kita berhadapan dengan soal yang bilang discuss both sides of the arguments and give your own opinion. Diskusikan kedua sisi argumennya dan berikan opini kamu sendiri. Nah, kalau kita lihat sebenarnya pertabrakan kedua argumennya itu ada di mana sih? Oh, ada orang-orang yang percaya bahwa internet traveling itu udah cukup dan kita udah nggak perlu lagi jalan-jalan ke luar negeri. Tapi mungkin ada orang lain yang bakal percaya, enggak, kita tetap butuh jalan-jalan ke negara lain buat kenal budaya mereka. So, di situ letak diskusi yang akan perlu kita bahas. Kemudian, kita juga diminta untuk memberikan opini kita sendiri. Artinya, pada akhirnya kita harus menjelaskan kita berpihak pada yang mana nih. Sisi yang setuju internet traveling itu udah cukup, dan apakah kita lebih setuju pada bahwa, no, we still need to travel abroad. Oke? So, kita akan lihat sampel yang pertama ini. Kita punya 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraf. So, I'll give you some time to have a look at this. Semoga ini udah cukup jelas kebacanya. I'll just give you some time to have a read of this. Dan kasih komentar kamu dong. Jadi menurut kamu, apakah essay ini udah memenuhi standar academic IELTS writing? You can pause the video and take your time to have a look at it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next sample. Di sampel yang kedua ini, aku akan meminta kamu melakukan hal yang sama. Kita akan menggunakan pertanyaan yang sama, oke? Dan aku pengen tahu nih pendapat kamu. Menurut kamu, sampel yang mana sih yang lebih tepat menggambarkan standar yang butuh kita penuhi kalau kita mau dapat nilai IELTS writing di atas 6,0. So, kita punya 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraf di sini. Kamu bisa pause videonya lagi untuk membaca paragraf-paragraf ini, dan tentu saja untuk mempertimbangkan. Jadi, menurut kamu, mana yang lebih tepat untuk memenuhi standar IELTS? Sampel yang pertama tadi, atau sampel yang kedua? Oke, kamu sekarang udah lihat dua-duanya ya. Sekarang mari kita coba bandingkan sebenarnya di mana letak krusial perbedaan dari kedua sampel tersebut dan bagaimana, apakah sampel satu yang lebih bisa kita anggap menjadi acuan yang ideal ataukah sampel kedua? Well, there is no idealistic essay of course, tetapi setidaknya hari ini saya pengen kasih gambaran sama kalian nih, kira-kira apa sih yang perlu kita penuhi kalau mau dapat nilai IELTS yang bagus. Alright, so I'm gonna show you my desktop. Hopefully you can see all of them. Yeah, hopefully, yeah, this one. Oke, so seperti yang kalian bisa perhatikan sendiri ya, bahwa di sampel yang pertama kita punya 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraf. Sedangkan di sampel yang kedua kita punya 1, 2, 3, dan 4 paragraf. Mana yang lebih tepat? Well, kalau kalian menganggap bahwa yang lebih tepat adalah sampel 1 karena beranggapan, oh, the longer the better. Semakin panjang esainya semakin baik. Actually, you answered incorrectly. Enggak tepat ya. Karena jatah menulis kalian di writing task 2 itu cuma 4 paragraf. Jadi, in terms of the paragraphing, sampel kedua lebih tepat. Oke? Nah, kalau kita perhatikan, semua masing-masing sih memenuhi mulai dari paragraf pertama yang mana adalah introduction hingga paragraf terakhir yang mana adalah conclusion. Tapi konten yang mana sih yang sebenarnya lebih bisa menjamin nilai lebih tinggi? So, seperti yang kita tahu, tadi soalnya meminta kita berdiskusi dan menambahkan opini kita. Artinya, kedua hal itu nggak boleh ada yang ketinggalan. Dari sudut pandang diskusi, kita harus bisa mewakili sisi yang percaya kita tetap butuh traveling in person, dan sisi yang percaya bahwa enggak, internet traveling itu udah cukup dan bisa menggantikan itu semua. Mari kita melihat sampel yang pertama dari paragraf introduction-nya, dia bilang, traveling is an exciting activity. Although some people tend to travel using the advancement of technology such as the internet, others prefer to go overseas to get a better understanding of the country itself. Itu adalah bagian di mana dia memperkenalkan atau mengkalimatkan ulang soal yang diberikan. Bagaimana cara mengkalimatkan ulang di sampel kedua? Itu terletak pada kalimat yang pertama nih. The fact that many people today use the internet to experience other countries means that it is no longer as important to actually travel overseas. Coba kita bandingkan. Lihat, ini adalah bagian parafrase soal, dan ini adalah bagian parafrase soal juga. Lihat bagaimana di sampel kedua, penulis membuat versi tulisan yang lebih straightforward dengan lebih sedikit pilihan kata, tetapi tidak mengubah makna dari soalnya. Sedangkan di sampel pertama, ya betul, dia tidak mengubah makna dari dari instruksi aslinya, but it's quite lengthy dan kurang to the point. Nah, kemudian di bagian kedua, seharusnya kita memasukkan preview nih, kita bakal nulis apa. Nah, kita coba perhatiin ya, di paragraf pertama punya sampel pertama. I am up to a second point that it is not only given us, it is not only given us. That's grammatically incorrect. Karena is given itu adalah kata kalimat passive. Sedangkan kalau yang dimaksud adalah hal ini memberikan kita, harusnya kita bilang it gives us atau it could give us. Okay? Kalau it is not only given us, bukan hanya ini diberikan. To who? It's unclear, so it's grammatically incorrect. Anyway, the opportunity to communicate with the indigenous community, but also gain a remarkable experience through directly visiting country destinations. Okay, indigenous. Kata indigenous itu sebenarnya kurang tepat dipakai dalam konteks kalimat ini. Justru lebih tepat, mungkin yang dia maksud adalah local community. Indigenous itu ketika kita ngomongin suku asli, misalnya kayak di Australia we've got Aborigine, kemudian maybe in New Zealand we've got Kiwi people. Nah, itu indigenous. Tapi kalau yang dimaksud adalah penduduk lokal, kita cukup bilang the local community, bukan indigenous. Although it sounds cool, but contextually it's not correct. So yeah, kurang tepat. But also gain a remarkable, okay. I'm not sure what is the subject of this sentence. Who gained what? Mungkin kalimat yang lebih tepat kita bisa bilang, but it could also allow us to gain a remarkable experience through directly visiting the country destinations. Maybe that makes more sense. But this one, I'm sorry, the sentences, this one, it's a little bit ineffective. And she said here, in this essay, I would like to elaborate on each preference further. Which preference? It should be specific. Ini nih yang membedakan antara kalau kalian mau dapat nilai 6 ke atas atau pengen dapat nilai 6 ke bawah. You have to specify every single thing. We cannot assume that the reader would directly understand what's inside your mind. You should say it out loud. Jadi kalau dia bilang preference semacam apa yang akan dia deskripsikan? Gitu. The reasons for my statement in the following paragraphs. What reasons are you about to say? Reasons-nya itu sejauh apa scoop yang pengen dibahas? This one, I'm sorry, it does not fulfill that kind of, how should I say, standard that IELTS needs supaya kamu punya kesempatan dapat nilai lebih dari 6. Mari kita bandingkan dengan bagian dari preview yang diberikan oleh si sampel kedua. In this essay, I would discuss both sides of the views, including how people could benefit from in-person traveling and how virtual traveling could allow a more accessible tourism experience. So di sini kita bisa perhatikan bagaimana dia udah nyampein bahwa dia akan cerita tentang keuntungan in-person traveling secara langsung, dan bagaimana traveling virtual bisa memberikan aksesibilitas atau menjadikan pengalaman berpergian itu menjadi lebih accessible. Terus dia sebut bahwa I would also explain why I tend to agree that traveling through internet is actually beneficial to creating greater exposure of some tourism destinations. Oh, dia akan berbicara tentang kesetujuannya, okay, terkait isu creating greater exposure, menciptakan exposure yang lebih tinggi untuk beberapa tourism destinations. Kalian bisa bedain mana introduction yang lebih spesifik dan bakal lebih bisa membantu pembaca untuk berekspektasi. Apa sih kira-kira isi dari esainya? So in terms of the introduction, which one would you choose? The sample one or sample two? You know the answer. Okay, now let's continue to the next part, to the body paragraph. So the body paragraphs atau paragraf body adalah jantung dari essay task 2 yang kalian tulis. Jadi disitulah kalian bakalan menjabarkan apa yang udah kalian rencanakan atau udah kalian kayak kasih sneak peek di paragraf pertama. Kalau kita perhatikan di sini, si penulis berencana untuk membahas, kalau dari paragraf pertama ya, membahas bagaimana going overseas itu bisa membantu kita communicate with the local community dan have a remarkable experience, although they didn't specify apa yang dimaksud dengan remarkable here. But let's have a look. What's the idea here? The usage of cutting-edge technology and personal preference to stay in the comfort zone create a possibility to travel without too much mobilization. Okay, so that's the idea, bahwa penggunaan teknologi itu bisa membuat seseorang stay in their comfort zone. I'm not sure what they mean by comfort zone here. Maybe what they mean is enjoying traveling destinations without leaving the comfort of their home. Maybe that's what they mean. But yeah, I think I get the idea of how they wanted to say that we do not need to get mobile so much, nggak perlu make trips in order to reach some destinations. Okay. Let's have a look at the illustrations here. In other words, some individuals feel a sense of fulfillment by just staying at home and using the gadgets to browse some places that they wanted to see. Okay. And for example, the existence of Google Earth. Okay, here is the thing. It's not like you're forbidden to say this kind of specific thing, but I would not recommend that. Saya nggak akan rekomendasikan karena example yang lebih dianggap okay oleh IELTS adalah example yang cukup universal. So if you say something specific like Google Earth here, tidak dilarang, tetapi how should I say it? Tidak direkomendasikan. Because we have to make sure that the idea that we present in our essay itu se-relatable mungkin untuk sebanyak orang mungkin. So it has to be as universal as possible. Not everyone know what Google Earth is. So it's not a good idea to put that kind of specific things. Ini juga berlaku misalnya you say, contohnya tetangga saya. We don't know who they are, who is your neighbor. So jangan lakukan itu di essay kalian ya. Begitu. Okay, let's have a look at the sample number 2 here. So let's have a look at the first idea. Many people often claim that real life experience is better than virtual experience, especially in terms of tourism. So they're talking about better life experience, but it's not specific enough. Let's have a look at the illustration. Recently, there have been developed numerous projects which display online catalogs collections from famous museums in the world. People could enjoy high-resolution photos available to anyone with internet access on such kind of platforms. This is no doubt a positive development. However, it is relatively incomparable to the experience of walking through a famous museum or art gallery, going on a guided tour and talking in person with other fellow tourists or the local people. By being physically present in the destination, the travelers could enjoy a great variety of experiences which could enhance their satisfaction. Can you compare? Mana storyline atau alur cerita yang lebih clear progressionnya, sebab akibatnya, dan ibarat baju tuh ngejahitnya lebih rapi, sampel 1 atau sampel 2. To me personally, sample 2 presents a clearer idea, straightforward idea. Anyone can visually imagine it easily. With straightforward word choices, not many flowery sentences. Then, yeah, I think it's just easier to follow. Okay. What about the next body? Let's have a look at the first sample here. On the flip side of the coin, here is the thing. This is a connotative word choice. Ini bahasa idioms atau bahasa kiasan, bahasa peribahasa. Padahal di dalam writing kita dilarang, haram hukumnya buat pakai bahasa konotatif atau peribahasa. So don't do that, okay? Eliminate that kind of things. Idioms peribahasa hanya boleh digunakan dalam bahasa lisan in IELTS writing. I mean in IELTS exam. Jadi kalau kalian mau pakai kata-kata seperti ini on your speaking test silahkan. Tapi untuk writing test, no, it's a huge no. You can just go right away to the next part. By having an overseas journey, some people believe that it is the essence of traveling. Another grammatical mistake here. Oh, my case, but did you go somewhere? Sorry. So, okay, so the essence of traveling. What does that mean, the essence? Let's have a look at the illustration. As the means of travel is moving, I don't get it. Maybe what they mean is because traveling requires us to move from one place to another. Can you see the difference? Kita harus segamblang mungkin dan memastikan pembaca itu tidak perlu bertanya-tanya lagi ketika they read our essay, okay? Thus, it is often argued that without moving, it cannot be counted as traveling. That's kind of circular, isn't it? Kayak idenya berputar aja gitu, tapi it hasn't really explained why moving is so important. Why is it essential? Well, let's have a look at the next part. Despite the accessibility information of any travel destination of the internet, on the internet, the experience to witness one culture using our personal approach. Personal approach, what does that mean? I still need to clarify what that means karena personal approach dari sudut pandang saya bisa jadi berbeda dengan sudut pandang penulis, right? Padahal tugas penulis adalah membantu saya melihat perspektif yang sama dengan perspektif dia. So this kind of thing, which could pose the risk of the reader being confused of what you mean, I need you to avoid that. Okay, be to the point, please. Be as clear as you can. For instance, a travel blogger needs to visit another country that she wants to write on her blog. Without it, the accuracy and the emotion cannot be transferred through her writing, regardless of the tremendous research she made. What kind of research does it mean? Is it still relevant to the question? The question was asking us untuk menabrakkan dua sudut pandang. Is traveling in person still necessary? Or yeah, we still do go to somewhere, go to some places physically in order to do all of it. I don't think this idea quite directly address that concerns, especially related to how internet traveling could, how should I say, the benefits of internet traveling could exceed the benefits of traveling physically. Yeah, I still have lots of questions when I'm reading this paragraph. I'm sorry. Let's compare it with the second sample here. So the next idea that they offered in this sample was, although there are good reasons to continue to travel on occasion, the advancements of internet has allowed people to get access to the majority of traveling experience remotely. Meskipun ada banyak alasan untuk terus berjalan-jalan atau berpergian sesekali, peningkatan internet itu telah membolehkan orang-orang buat mengakses the majority of traveling experience, mayoritas pengalaman berjalan-jalan remotely, dari jauh, jadi dari rumah gitu ya, bukan dari tempatnya secara langsung. One example of this is the published virtual tours offered by content creators for the internet users around the world. Such kind of initiatives has broadened the opportunity and accessibility of traveling experience, particularly for those with limited financial or disabilities. A grammatical mistake here. Harusnya di sini ada kata-kata seperti capacity. Karena financial adalah kata sifat, so kata sifat tidak bisa berdiri sendiri tanpa diikuti oleh kata yang dia terangkan. Okay? With limited financial capacity or disabilities to travel abroad. For instance, a child from an impoverished background or people with disabilities who probably cannot travel to other countries. This is a circular, repetitive ideas. I don't think this is necessary. Right, I'm not recommending to put that sentence karena itu hanya mengulang ide sebelumnya. We can directly go to the next part. We should delete the word however as well supaya kalimatnya menjadi make sense. Those people can watch travel documentaries, vlogs, and archive television series that show cultures around the world as long as they have an internet access. In my opinion, okay, as we can see here, in this first sample, they make another paragraph to put their opinion, when in fact, we do not need a new paragraph to include our opinion. You can just integrate it with the second body in here, okay? In my opinion, the makers of online tourism content could bring experience of extraordinary events or sites to less privileged members of our community. Menurut saya, this is the opinion part, the makers, para creators gitu ya, para pencipta online tourism content, konten-konten tourism online itu bisa membawa pengalaman dari extraordinary event, hal-hal yang luar biasa, pemandangan-pemandangan yang luar biasa, to less privileged members, kepada orang-orang yang lebih nggak punya privilege dari masyarakat kita, of our community. Besides that, selain itu, it could allow people to virtually visit some remote and hard-to-access tourism sites. Oh, I like this word choice in here. Hard to access. It's one of those hyphenated words. Kalau kalian mau Google, it's a nice way to express apa yang dia maksud. So, arti dari kalimat ini adalah, selain itu, hal ini bisa bikin orang-orang atau membolehkan orang-orang untuk secara virtual mengunjungi beberapa situs tourism yang remote, jauh, dan hard to access, susah buat diakses. Therefore, I believe that virtual traveling is actually a positive development. Saya percaya bahwa virtual traveling adalah sesuatu yang positif, perkembangan yang positif, which could allow a broader audience to appreciate, even discover many more global tourism destination. Yang bisa membolehkan audiens yang lebih luas untuk menemukan dan mengapresiasi lebih banyak destinasi tourism global. So that is for the opinion. I guess in terms of the paragraphing, the second sample shows a better format. But let's have a look at the content of this opinion here. In my perspective, visiting an overseas country would not only create a memorable experience to tell our generation, but also enrich our knowledge of the local people socially and culturally. Besides, it gives us a meaningful experience of traveling and living our life to the fullest. Once again, I have lots of questions. How does it, in what way it could enrich us? There is no illustration about it. And in what way we could define meaningful? I still have lots of questions about it. So, once again, poin pentingnya yang aku pengen garis bawahi, pengen stabiloin, pengen kasih lampu-lampu LED adalah make sure jangan menyulitkan kehidupan pembacamu ya. Jangan menyuruh mereka menebak-nebak. Don't assume they will understand right away what you are trying to say. As an illustration misalnya, aku marah sama kamu. Kenapa marah? Pokoknya aku marah aja sama kamu. Bedain dengan aku marah sama kamu karena tadi kamu janji datangnya jam 7, kenapa kamu datang jam 8? Kan aku jadi capek nungguin kamu. Which one do you prefer? The first one or the second one? Sebagai someone yang mungkin berada di posisi yang salah, saya prefer yang kedua. Karena saya jadi tahu saya harus memperbaiki diri dengan cara apa dan harus meminta maaf untuk hal apa. So it's the same thing with the IELTS writing test too. Okay? Mari kita lihat sekarang bagian conclusion-nya. Di bagian sampel pertama, in conclusion, although some people define traveling as seeing a place through technological advancement, I do believe visiting the country's destination directly would give us a true sense of traveling. A true sense of traveling. Another connotative word choices. No. As it helps us understand another culture better. In what way? How do we understand culture better, another culture better by doing that? I don't think they explained it at all. Yeah, to the conclusion. Conclusion is, how should I say, although it's the final part of the essay, it still has to be compact with information that we have presented in the previous parts of the essay. So this one, it doesn't help me to understand or even emphasize. It doesn't emphasize the messages that they're already written in the previous section. So let's compare with sample number 2. To conclude, physical traveling still plays a role in offering a great tourism experience, but the internet has largely replaced its primary importance in enhancing the accessibility of tourism for less fortunate people and those who live with disabilities. Untuk kalimat ini, I think I get the idea, but I do think it's too lengthy. Lihat ada berapa ide yang masuk di sini. Physical traveling step by step, that's the one idea, and then but the international this is second idea, and follows fortunate people and those with disabilities, that's a third idea. Too many ideas in one sentence. Can we make it a little bit shorter? Can we make it more efficient? Maybe we could say, to concrete physical traveling still plays a role in offering great tourism experience. However, internet could be a great help, could be of a great help for disabled and less financially privileged travelers. I believe that virtual tourism is a great solution, not only for the people who cannot afford traveling abroad, but also for the regions with the less famous tourism destinations. That's the part where they emphasize their opinion. So, kalau aku bisa kasih wrap up nih ya, perbandingan antara essay pertama dan essay kedua. Essay kedua itu sangat spesifik, mau menyampaikan pendapatnya, no flowery word choices. I believe many of you recognize the word choices. Tidak ada kata-kata yang terlalu asing, or terlalu aneh, or terlalu membuat kita harus menebak-nebak apa maksudnya, right? And I want you to have this kind of standard in one way or another. It's not a perfect essay, I know, and but if I have to choose which one is a much better essay, I would say this one is a better essay due to its straightforward sentences, specific ideas, and explanations that is very easy to follow. The progression is perfect. It includes both the discussion and the opinion, just like what the question asks for. And hopefully ini memberikan kalian gambaran standar ideal seperti apa yang kalian harus capai kalau mau dapat nilai writing di atas 6. Okay? I'll see you again next time. I don't know when. I'll see you when I see you. But I hope I could talk more about it. And I'm really sorry for those of you yang bertanya berkali-kali, apakah saya masih buka kelas private? Do I open my classes? For now, I'm sorry, you can only book some by appointment sessions, jadi kayak konsultasi melalui perjanjian, but we have very limited available schedules for you. So if you want to know more about what we can help you with regarding your IELTS preparation, just go to my Instagram at betariaisah, and you'd find lots and lots and lots of information related to my services. Makasih ya udah nonton hari ini, makasih sudah berlatih juga denganku hari ini. See you next time, and I wish you a lovely, lovely holiday season. Bye!